Because I feel like tidy people know something that you don't, and you're wondering how do they keep their homes effortlessly clean. I'm going to tell you something. It's not effortless, but there are things that they know, and if you know them, you can be a tidy person too. You ready? Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Katie Berry. If we haven't met before, I am a cleaning expert, and for 12 years I've been helping millions of people around the world with my books and my blog so that they can get their homes under control. And today I want to start helping you. There are 5 things that tidy people do just out of habit. It is so second nature to them that they don't actually have to think of them. You, on the other hand, will need to think about them in the beginning, but once you get it down and they become habit, you'll be a tidy person too. Number 1, tidy people declutter often, and I mean almost constantly. If they're getting into a cabinet or a closet or a drawer and they're looking for one thing, they'll see if there are things that don't belong in there and they'll do something about it. Or they'll see things that are trash and they'll throw it away. Or they'll see things that they never use. You know, if you have to dig around through a bunch of different things that you haven't touched in a while, rather than just ignore those, a tidy person will go, I haven't used this for a while. I'm going to get rid of it. Because if you keep things in your home that you don't use and you don't touch and you don't need, it's not a home, it's a museum. Tidy people don't put up with that. They get rid of the things that aren't serving them. And they don't spend a lot of time thinking about all the effort that it took to declutter it, or who gave it to them, or how much money they spent on it. A tidy person just looks at their home and says, is this serving me now in the stage of life that I'm in? If not, out it goes. Number 2, tidy people will put things away, not down. And this is easier to do if you're in the habit of decluttering on a regular basis. So when they come in the door and they've got their groceries and they've got their purse and they've got their keys, instead of just dumping everything on the island, they'll put the groceries down, they'll go put their purse in the closet, their keys where the keys go. If you get into the habit of decluttering, then it's easier to put things away. If you get in the habit of putting things away instead of down, your home will constantly look tidier. The third thing that tidy people do is they make a point of constantly putting things away as they're walking around their home. We accomplished this in my home by playing a game called No Empty Hands, and we started this when my kids were little. It basically goes, if you're going from one room to another, you look around, you see if there's something of yours that you can put away in the process. So if there are dishes that you've left out, then you take the dishes and you put them in the sink, or once you're an adult, into the dishwasher. If there are toys, the kids would have to take their toys and look for a toy that they could be putting away. So the kids loved to catch the adults empty-handed, because in my home, the way we played this game, if you got caught empty-handed, you had to do a chore that was on a list that I kept on the fridge. And the kids would look forward to the adults getting caught. When we let them catch us every now and then just to keep them in the game, because it also meant that the kids didn't want to have to do extra chores. So they were really good about picking up their toys and putting them away, picking up their backpacks, putting them away. They didn't walk around empty-handed. And as a result, they picked up after themselves. Now, before we get to the next 2, I want you to do me a favor, use one of your hands right now to hit that like button. The 4th thing that tidy people do, they try to keep their flat surfaces clear. And I'm not talking about books on the bookshelf, because obviously that's what they're for. But when it comes to coffee tables and dressers and end tables and kitchen islands, they don't clutter them up with so much decor that it's overwhelming and that it's difficult to clean. But also because when you have tons of things sitting out and it looks visually cluttered, it is stressful, and it also invites more clutter. And so if you feel like your family is leaving messes everywhere and you're trying to get your home to be tidier, start by paring back how much you have on display. The less that you have visually cluttering up everything, the less visually stressful it is, but also the less clutter it invites to. That's why tidy people try to keep flat surfaces, if not clear, at least so the decor is contained. The 5th thing that tidy people do is they have a good night routine. All of these things that we talked about so far, they tie in together. It's a skill set. Get rid of stuff so that you have a place to put things away. You make sure that you are putting things away, and you make sure that when you're putting things away, you're not just putting them down on flat surfaces. But this 5th one kind of makes sure that in case you forgot throughout the day, or somebody else in your family did, that you go to bed at night making sure that the next day is a fresh start. And that means having a good night routine. So your good night routine is just going around your home and making sure things are put away. And I'm not saying that you go and open closet doors or go and open cabinets and things like that. We're just looking at, are the flat surfaces cleared off? Are the countertops wiped off? Is the trash taken out? You just do a quick little routine to make sure that your home is reset at the end of the night, so the next morning it's like a gift to future you. You get up and you have a better day because you're not waking up to a mess. And when you wake up in a home that doesn't feel like a mess, you tend to want to keep it that way. And that keeps tidy people going. Practice those and you too will become a tidy person. Don't forget, hit subscribe so you know when the next video comes out. And until then, stay marvelous.